With my wife, I remember thinking about when to tell her in terms of how many months into the relationship and about my cystic fibrosis, and then also fertility. So I decided with my wife, because it's not very visible for me apart from a cough, I decided to sort of let it roll for a little while, and after probably a couple of months, I let her know that I had cystic fibrosis. At that time, she was obviously quite concerned. Many years later, she did say one of the first things I saw is that you might not be able to have children. I guess as we progressed through our relationship, we started talking about the future, and that's when, talking about having kids did come up. I think the decision to have a baby was one that you don't take lightly. Once we'd made that decision, then we had a lot of discussions about adoption versus trying to have a child by ourselves. And I think that's probably one of the most important conversations you can have before you go into the challenge of fertility with cystic fibrosis, because it is a challenge, and I think you need to be ready for that. And you need to have a frank conversation with your partner, which is, are we up for this challenge? It's a mental challenge, and it's a financial challenge as well. It's a challenge in terms of the time that goes into it. And it's a challenge on your relationship and the strains that it can put on it. Once we decided to do IVF, the doctors and all the people from the hospital were incredibly supportive, and a lot of people have done it before, so don't feel that you're the pioneer in this. A lot of people have had babies with cystic fibrosis before, so to be honest, it's quite a well-oiled track. The way it worked for me is I went and saw a specialist and they assessed my fertility. For me, it was a transportation issue of the sperm rather than a production issue. So it's there, it just can't get out. Once we sort of discovered that was a real sort of empowering moment that we could have a baby potentially using my sperm with cystic fibrosis. For us, it took quite a lot of tries. It's a real game of the odds, but the specialists at the IVF organisation who are helping you, the hospital, they try different things each time. So one of the first things we did was Erin, my wife, went for screening to see if she was a CF carrier. That was one of the first things that the doctor suggested that we did, and it came back as the results that she wasn't. I think if you do have CF and you're thinking about whether you want to investigate your fertility, have those conversations with your partner, be ready for a roller coaster ride, and then go for it.